Hey, El Maria. I hope you ain't been sitting here since 2:30.
What's going on? Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hope you ain't been sitting here
Uh-oh.
since 2:30.
Sorry for the echo.
Hey, everybody, come on through. Come on through.
Yes, come on in, y'all.
We gonna have a conversation today.
Yes, we sure enough are.
We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially this Kevin Samuels. that's seems to be,
Talk of the town.
all the talk. Kevin Samuels. Up until a couple of days ago, I didn't even know who he was.
I did.
You did?
I did.
Wow. Wow.
I've heard some of
I've
his.
heard some things. I've heard some things by, going back and doing my research.
Hey, Reese
I've heard
Cup.
some things about Mr. Samuel. Mr. Samuel, the ladies are celebrating.
We gonna talk about it. We gonna get
Hmm.
into that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it, Joseph. Let me tell you something. Well, while we waiting for people to come in, I want to talk about getting older.
Mm-hmm.
I always talk about how old I am. I'm 54. I'll be 55 this year. But sometimes, Joseph, the Lord just be telling me stuff.
Just slow down.
Is that what he be
He
trying
be
to tell
trying to
me?
tell you to slow down.
I don't. I don't feel like I'm doing a lot though.
You be doing a lot, baby.
What do I be doing
You
then?
just be go. You just be all over the place.
I do.
You be all over the place. You be on the run. You be up and down. You
Well,
be
see, Joseph, from a very young age, I've always been
pause. What did you just say? How did you start that out?
a young
To
age.
see.
Right, but I'm getting ready to explain something to you. From a young age, I've always been taught to push through,
Hmm.
like push through pain, push through this, push through that. And because I've been, conditioned to push through things, I've always done it. Like whenever I'm tired, you know, I've always been taught to, okay, if you're tired, it's okay. Once you get like now, when I go up the stairs, I'd be like, Lord have mercy, Jesus, I need to take a break. I need to stop at this one flight of steps and
Hmm.
then go up the next flight of steps. Because we got two flights of steps in our house.
Hmm.
But my but you know, my senior button be saying, Tremel, stop and take a rest
Pause.
and then go up the next flight of steps. Right. But my spirit be saying, okay, Tremel, you can make it all the way up. And that's what I do. I goes all the way up the stairs
Hmm.
instead of
Listening to your
stopping.
senior button.
Right, but then when I get at the top of the stairs, I'll be feeling like I'm getting ready to have a heart attack.
Right. That's why you be telling me, but I don't. I don't. Mm-mm. I listen to my body. I listen to what my
I don't
body
never
tell
listen to
me.
my body, and that's what I need to start doing. I have to focus on listening to I have to start listening to my body more and knowing what my limits are and respecting my limits
Exactly.
on what I'm capable of doing.
Hey,
See,
Miss
'cause-
Lois.
hey, Miss Lois, how are you? Is that Reese Cup?
Yes, that's
Hey,
Reese
Reese
Cup.
Cup.
I knew my day was gonna start out a little jacked up when I got to dialysis.
Mm.
And this new boy stuck me and he missed.
Oh, God. Don't you
And
hate that?
they just was wiggling
Don't
this
you hate when the
needle
nurses stick you the wrong way? Don't you hate that? It's just
in my arm and and it was always the one that gave everybody a problem, but nobody in there had a problem. So, I figured I'm good. And here he come today, missing. So
mm,
they jiggling and wiggling this needle and I'm like, y'all gonna blow the vein. Y'all gonna infiltrate the vein and it ain't gonna work.
oh,
So finally they decide, well, let's take it out.
I hate that.
So they took it out and they stuck me in another spot that I don't normally get stuck in. And in
Mm,
my head, I'm going, like, I'm feeling my blood come back into me. And I'm like, Jesus, this don't feel right. This don't feel right. All of a sudden, my arm just got real hot.
mm.
And I'm like, all this blood is dripping because
Oh
the
God.
vein infiltrated. So it's pushing it.
Mm,
and I'm like pouring blood because these are main arteries that they stick me in.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to come and pull it out and stop the bleeding and stick me in a whole new spot. And it was like, oh my God.
Don't you just hate that? I hate it. It
Well,
like.
I hate it because now my arm, it just, where they stuck me, it's kind of like a bee sting. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you've ever been stung
I
by
know,
a
I know,
bee,
I know, I know
how
what
it
it
feels
feels.
like you
I
constantly
know.
getting stung by
Trust
the
me,
bee all day. And that's what it feels like, that they're sticking the needle in my arm in the spot because I've
Joseph.
never been stuck in that spot
Joseph,
before.
I have to give myself. I have to administer insulin to myself 4 times a day. So I have to give myself a needle in my stomach 4 times a day.
That
And
needle
sometimes,
is
listen.
nothing compared to what they stick
No,
in
no,
my
no, no.
arm.
Listen. Sometimes, like it depends on the mood that you're in. If you're not,
Interesting.
if you're in a crappy mood, it's gonna hurt. Like most of the time, when I stick myself in the stomach, it don't hurt at all. I don't even feel it.
You know what? It
I don't
really,
even feel it. But then there are those days when I'm giving myself my insulin and it hurt. It feels like when I put that needle in my stomach, it feels like fire. It hurts. It hurts so bad. To the point where I want to cry. Um,
I don't know if I'm numb to the stick, but it's not so much that it hurts. Like now, where they stuck me, like normally when they stick me, I'm good. Like it is what it is.
mhm.
But when they stuck me where I've never been stuck before in this fat part, it just, like, now that it's all taped up and done, it just feels like I'm getting, like I could feel the point of the needles pressing through,
Mm.
and it's like it makes me jerk every single time. And I'm like, oh, child. Like, I just want to just jump. But I know, too, that I need to rest because I did have a little nap earlier, but you know how I do when I go
Mm.
have dialysis. I need my
Yeah.
little nighttime,
Hmm.
and I'm good in the morning.
Hmm.
But
Joseph, we ain't getting no younger.
no, we not.
We're not getting no younger. I just went to the pharmacy and picked up 7 medications. So now my medication total.
It's 100,
You know how many medications I take on a daily basis
probably
now?
100.
24. 24 pills a day I have to take in order to manage my diabetes, to manage my blood pressure, and to manage my kidney disease. I have to take 24 medications. And they say if you should ever get a kidney transplant, you have to take even more medications than
Yeah,
that.
to make sure that it stays working.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my medication,
Hey,
five
Monte.
five of my medications are multivitamins.
So that's not bad.
That's not really that bad. But so you figure I take 20 medications that are medications to help me with my heart
Everything
disease.
else.
Yeah, yeah, with everything, yeah. Um,
So,
so
y'all, we gonna get into what we
well, first of
came.
all, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the
Welcome to the show.
show
Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Please make sure you hit the like button.
and subscribe.
And the like, because the like button, guys, is very, very important. Also, there's a new feature
There's a new little
on
tab that
YouTube.
says thank you.
It's a thank you. It's a thank you feature where if you want to show your thanks, you can do it. You can give us a monetary gift.
By hitting the
Um,
thank you
it's
button.
kind of like a super chat, but it's not. Um, Hopefully we'll be able to see it because when y'all send us a super chat or something like that, we
But
don't
we
get the
see it when
benefit of
we,
that money.
right.
Really, we really don't. Well, it goes towards our threshold, but I mean, we really don't. YouTube takes a high percentage of it. But guys, any thank yous that you send us, any thank yous that you send us, we really appreciate it. Like we always say, a super chat is great. A cash app is even greater because that money comes directly to us. We can take that money and put it back into our platform. So, by all means, any way that you send us any type of monetary appreciation, we want you to understand and know that we do appreciate it. Thank you so very
Always, all
much.
the time.
So
And
let's get on with what we were talking about.
so, y'all, like I said, like Tramel said, he wasn't really familiar with Kevin Samuels, but I was. So you might hear me talking a little bit more than him, but that's because I know just a little bit more than him.
Yeah, so
But I'm not really gonna touch on what most everybody is touching on when it comes to Kevin Samuels, because I kind of want to go in a different direction with this. And I want to know what you guys think in the chat. So please don't sit in the bushes if you're in the bushes tonight. Please be very in the chat talking, saying what you need to
do
say.
you think we should put the link in?
No, because I don't need them to come up.
Okay.
I want to just know what they're thinking.
Okay. Okay.
So in actuality, if you don't know who Kevin Samuels was, oh, his title is long.
A troll,
Oh
basically.
no, a relationship. Oh God, wait a minute. I have the title.
Was he a relationship guru or
Not a relationship guru. He's called himself a relationship mentor,
really?
um,
So did he
guidance.
profess to be an expert on relationships?
Basically, he was professing to be a relationship expert.
Okay.
And he was very, very misogynistic towards women, black
Mm,
women.
mm.
His views on black women were horrible.
Wow.
Um, just recently,
Or were they?
last week, he told black women if they weren't married by the time they were 35, they was used up and has-beens.
Oh wow.
And he said that they needed to just get a dog and die alone.
Wow.
And he said fat women were just going to be lonely for the rest of their life and die from a heart attack
Oh my.
or some other uh, physical ailment that fat women would get because they're fat. He basically had women come on his show because he would do a show and then he would let them come up on like we do on StreamYard,
Mm-hmm.
and he would tell them what make you think a man with six figures wants you, how tall are you, how much money do you make, what do you look like without all that makeup and wig on, you want a real man and you not real. A lot of black men loved him because they felt what he was saying was true.
Mm.
Of course, a lot of black women hated him. So now that he passed away, a lot of black women are rejoicing in the fact that he's dead because they feel he got what he deserved,
Mm.
because they found him dead on top of a black woman he just met 2 days ago at a hotel. How ironic is
Mm.
that? So my thing is this, and this is my thing is this. When I sat back and thought about it, I said, and I know we have a lot of black women that watch us. So in no way am I agreeing with this man and his views, because I don't. I really don't. But I want to know. What I want to know is, and he was only 50, he was our age. He was like 56,
Oh really?
55, 56 years old. So he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that old. I believe she was Black Reese Cup. 35 women know the share. He said at 35, women know the sharing of their man. Yeah, that they had to share their man. Miss Lois, he said so much stuff that just was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's horrible stuff that he said. I don't agree with any of it. But the one thing that I do have a problem with is that when black women sit around and berate black men, it becomes okay. Now, when I say berate black men, I'm not talking about them saying they ain't no good baby daddies and stuff like that. I'm talking about when they say they broke. They just broke niggas living in their mama house and they ain't got no car and they ain't got this and they ain't got that. And why would I want to be with that motherfucker for? Because he ain't shit and he work at McDonald's or he work at Target. When black women berate black men like that, it's okay. But when black men turn around and do it in a whole different way to
Mm-hmm.
black women, it becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my problem lies. That why is it okay for black women to do it to black men, but when black men do it to black women, it becomes a problem? Yes, there's a lot of successful black women that have more money than black men
Mm-hmm.
because they are able to climb up that ladder. They are not programmed to go from school to prison. Most
Mm-hmm.
black women are able to accomplish things in their lives and have a good job and make a six-figure salary. And when they do get to the top, there's not a lot of black men up there to meet them
Mm-hmm.
where they are. And a lot of the times, the black men that are there don't want them. They want a
Mm-hmm.
white woman. So I get it. I definitely get it. But what I don't understand is, let's take your average black woman and your average black man.
Mm-hmm.
She can sit and talk about him all day long about what he don't have and how he ain't successful and how he can't do this and that for her because she need this and she need that and what he gonna do with that little baby job. But when he turn around and say something about her, wig wearing and makeup wearing, and you want a real man, and I don't even know what you look like without the wig and the makeup,
Right.
and you don't even look the same when you take it off, and I don't want a fat woman. Okay, but men are visual. So
Mm-hmm.
their attack is going to be different than your attack.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to know is, why is it okay for black women to attack black men in the same way that black men attack black women, but it's different because the black woman ain't going to sit and say, I don't want his fat ass and da 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 da. Because as long as most black women, if you treat them good, they don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But black men want a trophy piece.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just men in general. I'm not going to say just black men. Men in general, we're visual.
Mm-hmm.
We want something that looks good. We don't want something that isn't appealing to us. Women, on the
Well,
other
not all of
hand,
us.
not everybody, just like there are some women that'll look at you and call you a fat ass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. But in general, most men want somebody who's visually appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's just how we're programmed, period. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care,
Mm-hmm.
gay, straight,
Mm-hmm.
cisgendered, whatever. You Men are programmed in their mind to want something that looks
Well,
appealing.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this about women. Um, and this is what all due respect to black women. But what I have to say about black women, some women may be offended by, some may not. Some may agree. But excuse me, when it comes to women, black women, black women have a sense of entitlement. Period. Black women, most black women have a sense of entitlement. And what I mean by that is this. Yes, it's okay for them to, bash black men and say these things about black men because there's an expectation. Black women have an expectation when it comes to black men. They expect for a black man to be a provider, to be, the head of the household. Still at the same time, even though they may be, successful, in the boardroom, or they had their own business, they still expect, there's still this expectation. Women still have this expectation of men to be men. A lot of women are attracted by the toxic masculinity, um and they that's why they think it's okay. They feel it's okay for them to speak, you know whatever way they want to speak about black men. um
But with that said, do you think that it's learned behavior because
it is, it's
because
conditioned
they heard their
behavior.
mothers do it
It's conditioned
and
behavior.
their
See,
mothers heard their grandmothers do it?
exactly, exactly. That's just like,
So then why do they get mad when black men do it to them?
they get mad when black men do it to them because like I said, there's a sense of entitlement. I can talk about you like that, but you ain't supposed to talk about me like
Because
that.
I can't lie, there were some things that Kevin Samuel said that were true.
Mm-hmm.
They were very true.
I'm pretty sure.
There were some things he said that was true, and it resonated. And the women that was listening, some of them agreed. Some of the black women said, "You telling the truth," because
Right.
there's a lot of us that act like that. There's a lot of us that do that.
Right.
But then there was things that he said that was like, "Bruh, like, come on now, that ain't necessary to say, because that ain't got nothing to do with nothing."
Right. Okay.
Like
Okay.
telling a woman she
Let's
can't find a
debunk.
man because
Let's
she
break down
fat.
one thing that he said. He said that a woman that wants a man with a six-figure salary, you can't get that man with a six-figure salary if you ain't got no six-figure salary, right? But if you ask most women that have that are in relationships with men that have that six-figure salary, what will they say to you? They will say to you that it doesn't. It's not. They didn't necessarily earn the same amount of money as that man. They went after what they wanted. They made themselves um, available. They made themselves presentable to a person with that type of salary. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I remember when I was working for Comcast Cable, and
Hey,
I
Christine.
want to be a supervisor,
Hey, Lisa.
right? I want to be a supervisor. My supervisor said, Tramel, if you want to be a supervisor, you have to start acting like a supervisor, even though you ain't got the job yet. You have to start acting like a supervisor. I mean, you have to walk that walk. You have to dress like a supervisor. You have to talk like a supervisor. You got to act like a supervisor, whatever that entails. That's what you have to embody. It's just like being an actor or actress. When an actor or actress goes for a certain role, when they're asked to play a certain role, they what they do is they embody that. They embody it.
Right.
So that's what that's what you have to do.
But I
Um,
disagree. I disagree with what he said, because just because you make $40,000 a year and he makes $600,000 a year,
mhm.
that don't mean that you can't, exactly what you said, put yourself in a situation.
Right,
Put yourself in a
right.
situation, but like what he was saying, you can't even afford to get in those situations,
Mhm.
or you won't be put in those situations. And I
No, I
disagree.
mean, what I'm saying is that yeah, maybe what he said, the way in which he said it, and how he explained to people was incorrect. Because honestly, you can be you can have a $40,000 a year salary and get with a brother or sister that's making six figures,
Christine,
simply if you put yourself in that position. You understand what I'm saying? That's what people got to understand. You got to put yourself in a position to in order to achieve, in order to accomplish that is what you want, you
right,
know? And if you do that, then you'll get that man with a six-figure salary. If you say, okay, I'm making $40,000 a year, but I want a husband that can take care of me, that can, you know, um, you know, that can give me everything that I want. You can put yourself in a position
and
to
see,
have that.
Lisa, I agree with you. The things that he said was beating down women's self-esteem, and like he said, a single mom with kids is undeserving of a decent man, but she has children. It's terrible when she has children, and I don't agree with stuff like that. But I also agree with Christine. He did say some things that were true. His delivery was harsh, but he did say some things, not a lot, not a whole lot, but a little bit of things that he said were true.
Hmm.
And the way he came across to women. But okay, Lisa, so let me ask you this. A six-figure woman dating down looks different than a six-figure man dating down. Reese Cup, that's true. Well, no, it's the same. It's really the same thing, because at the end of the day, whoever has the most money, unless it's real love, they're gonna hold that money over the other person's head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care whether if it's a man or if it's a woman,
Mm-hmm.
because realistically, they know if that most their partner wouldn't have none of the things they had if it wasn't for them. So whether it's a man or a woman, they're gonna hold that over the other person's head unless they are truly in love and that's what they want to do. But if they're not really, if it's just we met, we in love, and and da 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 da. But Reese Cup, it doesn't. At the end of the day, a man and a woman can make the same amount, and a woman is still gonna treat him like he ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take out the garbage. You don't do this. You don't do that. She's gonna act like the man. You know how many conversations I've had with women that I know, and they complain about their husband, and I sit back and say, "Well, when are you gonna let him be a man? When are you gonna let him be a man, and you stop being the man? You stop taking the initial. You stop doing every goddamn thing and let him be a fucking man. All you do is complain and berate him and tell him what he ain't doing right and how he ain't doing it
Because
right
women have to
and
get rid of the sense of
all of
entitlement.
that. But then when I tell them and they be like, I never thought about it that way. And they take my advice and actually start letting him be a man, they're much happier because now they're
But
not
but but
mad.
listen.
Because now they don't have to tell him to take out the garbage. He's just
Mm-hmm.
doing it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, did you ever think that maybe he
Right.
was gonna do it, but he was gonna do it when he got ready?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you want him to do it immediately, that's
Mm-hmm.
not your child.
Mm-hmm.
That's a grown ass man. He ain't got to listen to you when you say get up and do this. Like that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, and I've heard black men say this. I sat in a conversation with straight black men as to why they like white women. Their first thing was, I don't want to date my mother. That resonated with me so strong because I've watched black women treat their husbands just like they were children. Didn't I tell you to get up and do this? When
Mm-hmm.
are you going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. If I was straight, I would lose my fucking mind. I wouldn't want to date my mother. Like, stop telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to do something, say, babe, can you take out the garbage? Sure, I can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get taken out.
Mm-hmm.
But not when you tell me, maybe I don't feel like getting up when you ask me,
Mm-hmm.
can I take out the
Mm-hmm.
garbage? But you're going to treat him like he a child.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't I tell you to take out the garbage? Didn't I tell you? And it's like, who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear that? Nobody. And it's like when they said it, I was shocked. Like it just resonated to me. And I was like, oh my God, I wish some black women could hear this because they're the first ones to get mad when they find these black men with white women
Mm-hmm.
and listen to why these black men want white women
Mm-hmm.
makes total sense because
Mm-hmm.
I've heard black women do it to their husbands or their boyfriends, treat them just like that they're their sons. And it's like, wow, that resonates a lot with me. That really resonates a lot with me.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
And I see. Well, hold on. I see a lot of women saying in the chat, not every black woman. Yeah, we understand that. And we're not talking about every
every black
black
woman,
woman.
right? Don't think we saying every,
Every
because we
black
not.
we're not, and we're not. I'm really not. I'm sorry, y'all. Mm, pardon me. I'm just getting over pneumonia, so that's why you hear me coughing so much. But we're not saying every black woman. What we're saying is that based on what we've seen, and what we've observed, like I said, a lot of black women have to get rid of the sense of entitlement. See, because when you have a sense of entitlement, you have this assumption that you're going to do what I tell you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you get rid of that sense of entitlement, if you don't have that expectation, then you don't have then you don't stand on the premise of somebody being your slave or appearing though they're doing what you're telling you to do. They doing what you're doing, what they're telling you to do. Um, and there's a lot of women out there that conduct themselves like that. And it is learned behavior. It is conditioned behavior. It's behavior that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. And I talk about this, and I'm going to be talking about this in my new season of Up Close and Personal, um, about how we need to break a lot of the many, many cycles that we have been you know, enduring and placing upon one another. Um, we really need to. There's a lot of cycles in the black community, in the black structure that need to be broken. There's a lot of things that we need to stop doing to one another, and there's a lot of we treat there's a lot of ways that we treat each other that we need to stop. We just need to stop, and we need to change.
Right.
One of the things that we need to change is being considerate of one another. Like, for instance, me and you and I, we're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I value about our marriage is that we're very considerate of one another, when it comes to everything, like, Tramel, could you go to the store and get me something to eat? It's not an issue for us, or if you say, Tramel, I need you to go downstairs and get me a drink of water, it's not an issue, you know. Um, we need to be more considerate of one another. We need there's just so many things in the black community that need to change, that need to just be non-existent anymore. It's like corporal punishment. It's like when a lot of people say, "Oh well, they need to bring back the days when kids used to get their ass whooped," right?
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, speaking from experience, corporal punishment doesn't work. It doesn't work. What does it do for a child? It doesn't do anything. I mean, a child does, a child does something wrong, and you beat him with a belt. What does it do? It doesn't do anything. It just hurts them. That's it.
But what I want to know is this man didn't just start acting flaky. So why would you stay with him? This man didn't just start doing the things that all of a sudden now get on your nerves or make you berate him when you talk to him or make you,
Well, why do
you
we have to
know,
berate? Why
no, no,
why
no.
do we
What? No,
do
what
that to
I'm
one
saying.
another?
No, what I'm saying is this, because a lot of women get with a man and feel she gonna change him,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna ever happen. You're not gonna change him. He's always gonna be who he is,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. Some men get with women and say, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
change her," and she's always gonna
Stop
be who
trying.
she
That's
is.
one thing women got to
And
stop
that's the
doing.
problem in a nutshell. Because a lot of y'all get with these men and be like, yeah. And then when he leave you and now he start acting different with the next woman, yeah, I made him. Yeah, she got my man. I made him. Look at him
Mm-hmm.
doing this and doing that. No, you didn't make him do nothing.
And then a lot of y'all
He
stay.
no, but the problem is he ain't changed.
Mm-hmm.
He the same man
Mm-hmm.
you was with,
Mm-hmm.
but he just
Mm-hmm.
don't know what she gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Is she gonna be stupid enough to deal with the shit
Right.
that you dealt with?
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
And
And
see,
see.
y'all view it as, oh yeah, she look at him acting the way I wanted him to act with me. No,
Mm-hmm.
he knew you was dumb and that you was gonna sit there and let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do to you. But he
Mm-hmm.
don't know she ain't. She might not be that type of woman.
Right. Right.
She might be the type of woman. The first time he do something, she be like, "Nah, nigga, you got to go."
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And now he ain't got no place to stay because she done kicked his ass out. And
Mm-hmm.
then he come knocking on your door, and you gonna feel bad for his ass and open it up and take him back in. That's the problem, and that's what I
Mm-hmm.
always tell women: no, he ain't changed. That nigga ain't changed. He ain't changed. He just ain't gonna treat her the way he treated you because he
Right.
don't know what she gonna do. Once he figure out if she a dummy or not, then he gonna start pulling the same shit on her that he pulled on you. But if she ain't stupid enough to deal with that bullshit, he ain't gonna never treat her the way he treated you because he gonna know I can't do this to her because she ain't gonna allow me to do this
Oh
to her.
yes, Christine Spencer. Yes, you in a sense, you hit the nail on the head. There are a lot of women out there that don't know how to be single until the right man comes along. And see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A lot of us are matched up. We matched up in the wrong way. The person that you're supposed to be with, you ain't with. You with somebody you ain't supposed to be with. And that's what I was getting ready to say. You know what? A lot of women do this. They stay and they miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say, oh, well, I done invested 5 years into this man. He gonna do what I tell him to do. You know what I'm saying? Or they get into a relationship, they say, well, I invested all this time into this relationship and I'm going to make it work. Sometimes, y'all, you got to put the gauntlet down and sometimes it just don't work.
No.
Then that's not the person that you're supposed to be with.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
And please, 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 stop having babies thinking it's gonna fix the situation, because all it's gonna do is make
A
it
baby ain't gonna
worse.
fix nothing, honey. A
It's
baby
just
ain't
gonna
nothing but
make it
something to
worse.
love. That's what a baby is. A baby ain't nothing but something
To
to
get the
love,
love you
Joseph.
looking from him, you're
That's
gonna
it.
get from your baby. That's
That's
it.
it. Mm-hmm.
Cause he 9 times out of 10, when you say I'm pregnant, then he really gonna leave your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Cause at the rate these men do nowadays.
Yeah. Listen, women, you have to understand. The one thing that women have to understand about men is that men are different than what you are. See, women look for men to be their equals. And but men don't look for women to be their equals.
Mm-mm.
But women do. Women have, like I said, they have a sense of entitlement. They have this expectation of what they think a man should be.
Yeah, I don't think that's wrong.
I don't think it's wrong
But I
either,
think
but
that
at the same
but
time,
I think that
what you have to understand is if you want a man, if you have an expectation of a man, there has to be a balance.
no,
There
but
got to be a
I
balance,
think the
Joseph.
problem is because, like I always say, growing up, a black boy can only be one thing. He can
Right,
only be a thug.
right,
He can't be a smart boy. He can't be a nerd. He can't be a
right.
skate
He got to
kid.
be hard,
He gotta
tough,
be hard,
Tonka
tough,
truck, tough. Yeah.
Tim's, pants sagging.
Mm-hmm.
So a black woman's expectation of a man is that. So a lot of times, and I'm sure a lot of these women will agree with
Mm-hmm.
me, when you get the good boy, y'all don't want him.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want the bad boy because that's
Mm-hmm.
the toxic masculinity y'all are used to.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And until you get older and realize that that bad boy is just that,
Mm-hmm.
and he ain't going to make you happy, at that point now your whole thought process changed. Your
Mm-hmm.
whole everything changed about what a man could be and should be. Because
Right.
now you realize, okay, the suit and tie man just might make me happy. The suit and tie man,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he ain't out there selling drugs and he can't just buy me a Gucci bag every 5 minutes. But at least he could love me. At least he could
Mm-hmm.
take care of me.
Right.
At least we can go out to dinner and ain't got to worry
Well, see,
about being
stop having this
shot.
expectation of a man taking care of you. See, listen, let me tell you, so you know the best relationships that work out are the ones that start off with nothing, Joseph.
Right.
They start off with nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because the love is there, the compassion is there, the consideration is there. Everything that you need to have a successful relationship is there because, listen, when you get into a relationship with someone, it should be on a equal, and you want that person to be your equal, it should be on that scale. You know what I'm saying? We gonna struggle together. We if we gonna be hungry, we gonna be hungry together. We're gonna go through all these trials and tribulations together in order to get to a better place. If you both have that expectation, if you both have that goal of getting to a better place, then the relationship is going to always be successful.
I agree because if you have the expectation of him taking care of you,
You can't. You
like we
can't.
was watching the show,
Hmm.
Married at First Sight.
Right. Right. Right.
And when he asked her, remember when he asked her about what bills she was gonna pay?
Hmm.
And she was like, I'm not paying no bills. You're paying all the bills. He said, well,
Right.
what about your money? You work. My money is my money.
Hmm.
In I mean, it might have been 2019 when we
Mm-hmm.
watched it, but I'm gonna still say 2022. In
Mm-hmm.
2022, where do you think, with this economy, that you're not gonna help your husband?
Right.
What's wrong with helping your
But
husband?
see, there's a lot of
But
women
there's
out
a
there
lot of women out there that
that
think
have
my
that.
check is my check and you better use your whole check to pay everything,
Mm-hmm.
the mortgage, the bills, the everything. So
Mm-hmm.
he's supposed to sit around for a whole 2 weeks for $5,
Right.
and you sitting around with $2,000 in your wallet because
Mm-hmm.
he's the man and this is what he's gonna
Yeah,
do.
and that's what he's supposed to do.
But this is not
That's what they say.
19.
That's what they think. They have this expectation that that's what he's supposed to do.
But
He's
if that's
supposed
the
to pay all
case,
the
then
bills. He's
then
supposed to whenever I want if I want $2,000 or $5,000 to go buy a car, he's supposed to get that money together for me to get that car. You know what I'm saying? And that is a false narrative.
but
It's a
then that
false
if that's the
narrative.
case, then if we gonna act like it's 1965, then
Hmm.
when I come home, the house needs to be clean. You need to tend to the children. I need to have a hot meal cooked for me.
Hmm.
And if we gonna act like it's 1965, then let's act like it's 1965 all the way around.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're not gonna act like it's 2022, but you
Hmm.
want 1965 expectations
Right, right.
because the world just don't work that
It
way no
don't.
more.
It don't.
It really don't. But it don't work where a lot of women these days, and I think it's dumb. I'm gonna say it. I think it's the dumbest thing where they taking care of the man. He riding around all day in her car. She's standing at work for 15 minutes late after she get off because he ain't even picked her ass up. He ain't contributing to shit. No,
No.
no, 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 no,
Mm-mm,
no, no, no.
mm-mm.
You're not.
Yeah,
See,
we're not saying settle for that. We're
no.
saying that if you're gonna have a man that has the same expectations that you have. Have a man that if you consider it, have a man that's considerate, just as considerate as you are. Have a man if you're chivalrous, then have a man that's chivalrous. You know, get with a man that's going to match what you want in life.
And Christine, I agree with you because I really had to sit down one day and I had to reevaluate what my type was.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
And
too.
yes, the pants sagging, being on parole bums was my type, honey, because I grew up in the hood and I lived in the project. So that was a man to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a man.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had to reevaluate. And I said, you know what? This ain't getting me nothing in life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a whole nother level. I work on Wall Street. I got a good job. I'm making good money. And basically, I'm taking care of them because
Mm-hmm.
they ain't got nothing to get off of me. If they ain't selling on the corner and making some real money, they ain't got nothing to offer me. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't dealing with the kingpin. I was dealing with the runners.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't getting me nothing. So I was just like, and then just period, my whole type of what I expected a man to be, just as far as what he looked like and how what my expectations were high. They were. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
My expectations were real high. And
Mm-hmm.
even when I got with Tremel, I had to sit back and realize that in my mind I wanted to be loved a certain way. But I had to realize Tremel could only love me to the capacity of what he knew. So that was another thing I had to realize, that we set a lot of expectations on how we want to be loved because of the way we know love.
Mm-hmm.
But if the man that you're with doesn't know that type of love
Mm-hmm.
or has never been loved that way,
Right.
he can't give you that type of love. He can only give you the love that he knows. Now, I'm not saying let somebody treat you like shit. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I know a love that is just out of this world with my mother and my grandmother. Like, it wasn't natural. It was just a love that just was just out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I hear Tremel's story of how he grew up and the things that happened to him, I had to sit back and say, well, this man can't possibly love me the way I want to be loved because he doesn't know that type of love.
Mm-hmm.
He knows love, but he doesn't know the type of love that I know.
Right.
So at that point, I had to make a decision. It was like, am I settling because I just want to be with him? Or is it that I know that this is just something that I put this expectation in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and is anybody ever going to be able to meet it? Because in reality, I don't think anybody in this, I don't think anybody, probably other than my sister, because
Mm-hmm.
she was loved the same way,
Mm-hmm.
could meet that expectation, and I damn sure ain't gonna be with her.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I had to make a decision. Because in the beginning, Tremel can tell you, I kind of used to get mad and be like, "Well, why you don't do what I do for you? And how come you don't do this way? And
Mm-hmm.
why you don't do this that way?" Because in my mind, if you don't do this, then you don't love me. But I had
Right.
to realize that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
Tremel was doing what he knew, and what he showed me as loving me was what I had to accept because that's what he knows. And
Right. Right. Right.
and you know,
And vice versa, because I've always felt like when it comes to our marriage, when it comes to us, I don't have a specific expectation. I am just happy and elated and satisfied with what you give me. Whatever you
right.
give me is what I love. Whatever you give me is what I'm satisfied with. Whatever you give me is what sustains me, and that's just how relationships should work. I mean, that makes for a good relationship,
No, because
you
I
know.
I used to think something was wrong with me. And one day I'll never forget, I was driving to dialysis and I was just in the car. I was mad. I was mad. I was mad. I was really mad. And I was like, why did you let my mother love me the way you did? And why did you let my grandmother show me all this love and understanding? And I was mad at God for showing me, for giving me this capacity to love the way that I did. And the Lord spoke to me and he said, because the person I have for you needs to know that kind of love. So I'm like, okay, whatever, In my head, it wasn't no magical voice. It was just I heard, because the person I have for you needs to know that type of love. And I didn't pay it no mind. And, I was like, okay, whatever. And drove and did my thing. And months later, here comes Tremel. And then when I heard the story, I said, oh, wow, okay, that makes sense now. But it bothered me because my expectations were high, honey. They were high, but I was dealing with the bums. I ain't even gonna lie. I was dealing with the bums because I felt, well, if I ain't gonna find what I want, at least I can get me a bum. And a lot of women do the same thing. They'll settle for a bum as opposed to being by themselves. And I don't like saying bums, but technically that's what they are, because they're going to use you till they can't use you no more, or you get tired of letting them use you. And that's a bum. That's really a bum. So,
I don't know. I can't never say I've been with a bum, but you know what? Let me just say this about love and relationships. Love and relationship have always just come easy to me, and that's I think a lot of people, um, I think a lot of people, uh, just they.
settle.
No, it's not even that they settle. It's that they make being in a relationship so difficult when it's really not. Being in a relationship is so easy. It is. It's very, very easy. In my eyes, like I said, it's always love and relationships have always come very easy to me. I've never really had, like, when I was in a relationship with a person, it's never been, something that was so intricate to the point where I had to sit and I had to ponder or think about it, or like, oh, does this person really love me? Does this person really care about me? Or is this person this? Who is this? Or I've never had those issues.
Well, lucky you,
I
because I've
haven't.
had to. And I agree with Lisa. The
I've never
pickings,
had to sit down and have a discussion with somebody and say, okay, we in this relationship. Okay, this is what this is, and this is what this is, and you getting on my nerves, and I ain't never had to do that.
well, lucky you.
But I know there's a lot of people that do. They endure that and they go through
Well,
things
I
like that.
agree with Lisa. The pickings out here today are very slim.
They are.
Very, very, very slim.
They are. And there's for all different types of reasons. Some people are petty. Some people just have this high expectation. Some people have expectation period. It's just so many different things. We as human beings interacting with each other, we make things so intricate and so difficult, and it doesn't have to be that way. It really
Right,
don't.
Lisa. I agree with you. Some people, when they ask your expectations and you tell them, they'd rather move on to something easier. And Christine, I definitely agree with that. Social media is the downfall of all these
Oh
relationships these
yes,
days
most definitely.
because it's just too easy.
Hmm.
Back in the day, we had to go out. We had to go out to the club. We had to go out to the bar.
There was
We had to
such thing as
just
courting
hang on the
and dating,
corner,
and yeah.
whatever we did to
Hmm.
meet somebody new.
Yeah,
Nowadays, you just one click away
or one
and
swipe away.
one swipe away, one click away,
Hmm.
and you can meet whoever you want to meet.
Hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to leave out of the
It's
house.
not gonna turn out
It's
the way
going to
you
be
want it to
come to
turn
my
out. Yeah.
house or you come to their house. And then it's going to be if you get hot in the booty hole or you get hot in the cooch or you get hot in the
Hmm.
pants.
Hmm.
And you know what's going to happen next. And after that, you done ruined everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I believe social media is the downfall of all courting and getting to know people and relationships. Like I had a friend that just refused to meet anybody on social media. They would meet him in a bar or in the club or just out in a laundromat
Hmm.
or in a grocery store. And to me, it didn't make sense because I said, okay, but the same person you met in person is the same person you'll meet online. So what's the difference? And he was like, but see, I don't
No, it's
know.
not. Not
He said,
really.
but see, that's the difference. I don't know they're online.
Hmm.
So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their
Right.
profile looks
Right.
like. I
Right.
don't know what they're saying that I might not want to know about.
Right.
And I said, well, that's true. But my nosy ass, I want to know because I
Right.
need to know who you're talking to and what you're doing
Right.
when my back is turned.
Right. 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 Right.
I wanted to know. So I just,
I mean, you and I, we got together the old-fashioned way.
when we first met, we did.
Yeah, we got together the old-fashioned way because back when we
We were
got together, there
introduced.
was really no such thing
There
as
was no
social
such
media.
thing as social
We
media.
we were at the beginning of social media, really,
Right.
and so we got together the old-fashioned way. We got to know one another,
And we were introduced.
and we were introduced to one another. We got to know one another. And once we got to know one another, then things progressed from there. And even
Now, the
even then,
reacquaintance, we have to thank social media.
yeah, we do. We do have to thank social media for the reacquaintance of us. For us, had it not been for social media, we probably wouldn't be married today.
Right.
You know, but and we don't know that. I mean we could have walked down the street and bumped into each other. But the chances of that were very very slim because I'm not a walker child. Um, but are we sitting there now? I in reference to this Kevin Samuels, I want to say this. I want to say that maybe perhaps a lot of things that he said were true. It was just his delivery and the way in which he said them
It
that
was
were
definitely harsh.
offensive. What was harsh and offensive, but what his message was, maybe it was true.
Some of it,
Because
not
listen,
all of it.
Joseph, there
Some
comes
of it
no,
was
no,
no. Some
no,
of it
no.
was
Some,
true.
no. What I'm saying is that sometimes reality is what reality is. Sometimes reality can be just as ugly.
Hey,
It
Monica.
could be just as ugly, but it could be even uglier coming out of somebody's mouth.
No, true, and people don't like hearing the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things he said was true. A lot of it was just mean, hurt, and mean, evil, and
Yeah,
hurtful.
it was mean
I'm not gonna lie.
spirited. Yeah,
A lot of
like.
it was mean, evil, and hurtful, but
Mm-hmm.
some of what he said was true.
Mm-hmm.
And people didn't like it. Well, black women didn't like it because it was true,
It was
and
offensive.
they knew it was true, and his delivery was just harsh. So
Well,
that's why
offensive. Yeah.
right. That's why they didn't some of them because there were some with black women that agreed with him, And then there was a lot that didn't agree with him because the
Mm-hmm.
delivery was just too harsh. It was harsh. And a lot of what he said, like fat women are gonna die from heart attacks, and if you're 35 and don't no man want you, you might as well just get a dog and live by yourself. Stuff like that is just
Mm-hmm.
mean and hurtful. That
Mm-hmm.
that ain't even got nothing to do with nothing. To tell you the truth, that's just mean and hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And don't no man want a woman with kids, and how old are you, and oh, some of the things he
Yeah,
said,
it
it
was
was just
harsh.
it was no it was mean and hurtful.
But
But at the same
but to be honest
time,
with you, it's a lot of men think like that.
a lot of men think like that because black men cheered him on, and they are cheering him on through his death, while the black women are tearing him down. I don't think that they should be rejoicing because he's dead, but at the same token, I'm not gonna change my view of you just because you're dead. So I
Mm-hmm.
get it,
Right.
because a lot of people think, oh, well, he's dead, so stop hating on him. Why? I didn't like him when he was alive, so why would I like him? Why would I
Mm-hmm.
care now that he's dead?
Mm-hmm.
I applaud them for keeping it real, but at the same time, to sit around and rejoice and throw Kevin Samuels' dead parties, I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
little overboard. I think
Well,
that's a little
well,
overboard.
you know how I feel about death anyway. But well, rest in peace, Kevin Samuel. Rest in peace wherever you are. Rest in peace. And that's
Right,
just
Lisa,
that.
I agree. Tearing a person down is disgusting. But at the same token, the women that got on his show knew what he was going to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, really, is it his fault or is it their fault for allowing him to berate them?
Right, right.
Because they got up there and allowed themselves to be berated.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they tried to attack back, he would tell them, oh no, bitch, you don't do this. This is my motherfucking show. You're not gonna fucking talk to me this kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
now, if you know a man is gonna attack you that way,
Why
why
would
would you
you?
get on their
Right,
platform?
right, right, right.
Like, why would you? But there was some that I think thought that he wasn't going to talk to them that way,
Mm-hmm.
or he wasn't going to berate them,
Mm-hmm.
because there was plenty of pretty women that got up there,
Mm-hmm.
and he told them, "You really think you look good?
Mm-hmm.
You don't look good. Take off that wig and that makeup, and let's see what you look like."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why would you put yourself in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Like, you know who he is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, you sitting there with the confidence of Job,
Mm-hmm.
and now this man is like chipping away at your confidence piece by piece,
Mm-hmm.
because you can see they got on there confident, like, bitch, I know I look good.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he was done with them, it was like, bitch, do I look good?
Right.
Because he just berated them so bad that it was like, why would you even put yourself in a situation like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's like you going to a KKK meeting, sitting down as a black person, thinking they ain't gonna attack you.
Right,
I'm
right.
just here to watch, and
Mm-hmm.
then everybody attacks you, and you sitting there looking confused, like, why everybody attacking me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't understand why women allowed him to do that to them.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that they thought that they was gonna get past the others that didn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it ain't. I've never seen, in the times that I've watched, one black woman that came on his show and he like gave her accolades. I've never seen it, not one time. Every
Wow.
black woman that came on his show, he berated her and belittled her and made her feel like, shit, in a
Right.
nutshell.
Right.
Made her feel like shit. And I think that says a lot about the women that called in,
Mm-hmm.
because I think a lot of them went in with the expectation of, bitch, I know I look
Well,
good.
see, that's what we like these days. We like the mess. It's mess. It's mess. It's a whole bunch of mess. We like to be combative. We like to be challenging. We like to be deflective. We like that. That's what social media is all about. It is. But rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace wherever you are. Rest in peace. Another thing that I really want to talk about is something that's going on in our community. Well, not necessarily that's going on in our community, but I wanted to address something about our community especially, and this is with all due respect to our trans community. This is our trans community. For the past several weeks, Benzino has been in the blogs, about him allegedly having a sexual relationship with a trans woman. And this trans woman that he's been having, that he allegedly has been having a sexual relationship, has quote unquote outed him, saying that she's in a relation, that she's had sex with him and da 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 da. Now the same woman, I don't know her name, but she done wrote a diss track about him. Um, and here's my thing about um, these trans women outing these men, that they're having sexual relationships with. Are you putting yourself out there as it being wrong? Like she came out and said, okay, now I'm sleeping with Benzino. What's wrong with you sleeping with him? That's my whole
Nothing.
thing. What's wrong with it? Okay, let's say let that be the case. Let that be the case that Benzino is in a sexual relationship with a trans woman. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. I think they get tired of
But
it.
women,
But I
but these
think
trans women are outing these men, saying, "Okay, you sleeping with me. I'm sleeping with you,"
because I think like a side
and it's
chick,
wrong. They're making it. There's this energy and this feeling like them sleeping with you is a taboo, or like you're a freak of nature, or something like that. What's the big deal?
because I think that like a side chick, you need to learn to play your position. You know he's never going to take you to the show. He's
Mm-hmm.
never going to take you. He might let you go, but you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be anywhere where anybody he knows is. He's going to put you in the back, in
Mm-hmm.
the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they realize at a certain point that they're never going to be in the forefront with him. They're
Mm-hmm.
never going to be number one. They're never. It's never going to be because it's like being a side chick. He doesn't want anybody to know you're a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get tired of being a secret, is when they want to. Oh well, I'm with so and so, and I'm being with so and so, and it's like, why are you doing this?
So
What?
what you're saying is a lot of these trans women, and I agree with you 100%. I think a lot of these trans women need to stop going into these relationships with these quote unquote straight men, with the expectation that you're going to be his number one girl, or you're going to be walking down the street with him, or he's going to have a full-fledged ongoing relationship with you that he just is not bothered by, and
Because
he
there's
don't
no
care who knows.
because it's no different than us being with a DL man.
Mm-hmm.
He's never gonna hold my hand and say I'm with him and this is my man and this is this because that's not the life he wants to live.
Why do trans women and why do gay men put themselves in these
Because they think
relationships?
if they out them, then if they think it, I don't. This is just my thought about it. You see, I'm stuttering. I think they think if they out them, that okay, now I'll get what I want, or I'll
Mm-hmm.
fix you. It's either I'll fix you or now I'll get what I want. But now you're not gonna get nothing because he ain't never gonna fuck with you again. You'll just be, that
And
girl.
how long does the gratification of you outing him and embarrassing him,
Because they think
how
that
long does that last?
because
This is
they
what I'm
think
saying. How long does that? It don't last
no,
for
what I'm
long.
saying is they think if they out him, then he don't have a secret no more, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be a secret. But all you doing to yourself is getting kicked to the curb,
Right.
because now he's gonna kick
Because
you to the
everybody looking at
curb,
this trans woman like she
and
crazy
then the
now.
next girl gonna come along that know how to keep her fucking mouth shut
Mm-hmm.
and know how to play her position,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
all the things that you was getting and
Mm-hmm.
he was doing for you, he gonna do
Right.
for her.
Right.
And she, believe me, the next girl ain't gonna be as dumb because
Mm-hmm.
she gonna already know.
Right.
Well, he ain't going, if I out him, he ain't going to do nothing about it.
Right.
And what have you, and stuff like that. So I just don't understand what people get out of outing people. I just don't get it, because at the end of the day, whether you trans, whether you gay,
Whatever the case.
whatever the case, it's not going to get you what you want.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want that man to be with you and be
Right.
proud to be with you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not going to happen.
Right. That's like
You
I had a friend that.
chose to, but what I'm saying is they chose to be in that situation, and you
Mm-hmm.
knew what it was before you got into what you got into.
Right.
And
Exactly.
now, because all of a sudden you want accolades and you want to be in the forefront with it,
Mm-hmm.
things are supposed to change.
You listen. You got to stay in your lane. You got to stay. Listen. Let me tell you this. I had a friend, right, that he was dating a minister, right? He was dating a minister, and then this particular minister, decided that he didn't want to date him no more. So what he did was he went on his Facebook page and started like outing this minister, saying all these things, telling what their sexual favorites were, and da 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 da, and so on and so forth. And I was like, well, what are you doing all that for? Oh, because people need to know about him. People need to know what he was doing. So what he was doing, which he was all that time, was it wrong? No, it wasn't wrong, but people need to know about it. People need to know the real him. And I'm like, but was it wrong? And he's like, no, it wasn't wrong. In his eyes, it wasn't wrong because he was getting what he was getting from the person. Then when he stopped getting what he was getting, then he was mad and he wanted to out this person. It's counterproductive. It is. Like Joseph, you got to stay in your lane. Like there's been times in my life where there were certain people that wanted to pursue me, and I was like, no, no, just that because that's not what's for me. You know what I'm saying? That's not what my preference is. That's not what was for me. I'm like, okay, I know how to stay in my lane, child. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And Miss Lois, I agree with you. Nowadays, a lot of people do it for clicks and views on Instagram, and they think it's going to boost their little platforms and boost their little views and likes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But all they doing really is putting themselves in danger, because 9 times out of 10, you don't really know who you're dealing with.
Right.
You don't. You
You
don't really know who you're dealing with.
right.
And I mean, even Benzino said he was going to fuck her up and shoot her and bust her in the fucking face if she
Uh
keep
huh.
going.
Right.
He don't give a fuck. He don't care.
Right.
Benzino don't care. So I'm like, that's why y'all probably ain't heard nothing no more about it, because after he threatened to hurt her, all of a sudden now she got quiet because
Mm-hmm.
she know he'll do it. And I'm like, you didn't think that before you decided to out this man and say all these things about this man and put it out in the forefront like that. I feel like a DL person, particularly one who has a family, wife, girlfriend, deserves to be outed. Why should their privacy be respected when they don't respect the woman that they are with enough to be honest? Well, Lisa, I'd say the same thing. But at the same token, what if he was just cheating with another woman? Does she deserve to hurt the wife and the kids by telling the wife that, oh, by the way, I'm sleeping with your husband and we've been doing this and that and third? I mean, it's the same thing. I view it. It's worse because at least if it was another woman, as a wife, if you feel you want to keep your husband and you can compete with another woman,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't compete with a man or a trans woman because that's a whole nother lane.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother lane.
It
So I
is.
get why the hurt is more, because that's a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
lane that you can't compete with.
That's like taking
So
it's a lot.
it's a lot.
It
And I
is.
think I think if we didn't make it so much of a bad thing, or if men could just be honest and truthful and tell a woman, listen, I'm bisexual and this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if the woman want to deal with it, let her. If she chooses not to deal with it, then that's her choice. Because y'all know me, I always say when you take a person's option away, that's when the problems come
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Thank you,
When you
Joseph.
take a person's options away, that's when the problem comes in. As long as you
Right.
give a person options, 9 times out of 10 it's going to go
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
effectively. But when you take a person's options, that's when you get a problem, because you
Mm-hmm.
never told me. You did. Maybe I would have loved you, or maybe I would have dated you had I known you was bisexual.
Right.
Maybe we could have did it together. Shit, you don't know, I might be a freak like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you took the option away from me. You
Mm-hmm.
chose to hide.
Right. When you didn't tell me.
Right. You chose to
Mm-hmm.
hide. You
Mm-hmm.
chose to keep it a secret. And that's when we have a problem. Because now, what else are you keeping a secret from me? What else are you can't have it both ways, no pun intended. Reese Cup, I agree
You
with you.
can have it both ways if you're
No,
honest.
no, no. She was saying trans women can't have it both ways.
Right.
And I agree with you. It needs to be just either you gonna be the secret, or if you don't want to be the secret, then you need to find a man that doesn't have a
Yeah,
problem.
because there are a lot of trans women that go into these relationships, or they go into these, what they call them, entanglements with, I mean, knowing that they're going to be a secret,
Especially
and then they start having an issue with it.
if you dealing with a celebrity and you a gay man, or you trans, or you a trans woman, or even a trans man, because there's been some talk about celebrities dealing with trans men, male celebrities dealing with trans men, which I don't see. Well, I get how that could be a problem, but I guess whatever. But it does a whole nother lie. But you can't possibly think you can't possibly think you gonna be the main one and on TV with them and sitting by their side, cause that just ain't gonna happen, boo. Unless they out, it's just not gonna happen.
Right.
So I don't care if it's 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You're never gonna be out in the forefront,
Mm-hmm.
ever, ever gonna be out in the forefront because of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you were meant to be a secret from the get go.
Right.
So now, because you tired of sitting in the background and be like, you know what? I'm tired of this motherfucker keeping me a secret. There should not be a competition. Go over there and leave me the fuck alone. I will not compete with a woman or a trans woman. Right. And I'm not, but Lisa, I have had conversations with people that said they would rather it be another woman because they can at least compete with a woman than a man because they can't compete with a man. So, you know, I feel the same way. Man, woman, child, whatever. If you cheat on me, I'm done. I don't care who, what, when, where, why.
Right.
I'm done.
Me too.
Period. That's the end of story. I don't care the logistics of it. Just bye, leave me alone, go about your own way,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, BC Cup. I agree with you. Cause then you make it like something he see, and that's what Tremel was saying. That's the point he was trying to make. When you start outing men and you're a trans woman, we want most trans women are trying to make it normalized. That it's a normal thing for them to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you
But
out
that's
a
not the
man,
way.
but
The way in which they're doing it
but
is
right when
not
you out a man, you make it like it's something wrong with being a trans woman,
right.
because now you making it like he did something that was taboo,
Right.
and he shouldn't have did it.
Like you're a
And
freak of nature or something like
right,
that.
like you know, in one breath you want to be considered a trans woman, but
Mm-hmm.
in the next breath you want to be considered a trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did something wrong and he did something that he shouldn't have did,
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right. Because he a man and he's supposed to be masculine. He only supposed to be with women.
Right.
He ain't supposed to be with no trans woman.
Right. So it's just it's a lot, child. It's a lot. It's a whole lot, and it's a lot. But I just say, I don't care who you are and what you do. If you in a lane, you need to stay in that lane. Period.
Hmm.
And you need to play that lane the proper way, the right way, because your lane ain't going to
Right, you got to know what
change.
you're getting yourself into. Know what you're getting yourself into, and when you get yourself into that particular position, know what comes with it, and don't be having no false expectations when it comes to it, because you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to be happy. You're going to. I mean, you're not. That's not living your best life. It's
Right.
just not.
It's not. It's not. But you got to stay in your lane. All right, Tristan. It bees like that sometimes.
What?
He said he dozed off, but he's back now.
Mm.
Why do any women have to compete with a man? If you don't get out of my face, go on and get that eggplant,
Well, see,
boo.
that's the problem. Y'all women, a lot of y'all women out here, y'all want to compete. It ain't
But
about it ain't competing.
no, no,
I
no.
don't
She was
compete with you, Joseph. I don't compete with your love. You give me what you give me, and I love it.
no, she
I
was
give
no.
you
She's
what you
saying
give
if a
you.
man is cheating on her with a man,
Hmm?
she was meaning if a man was cheating on her with if a man was cheating on her with a man, she's not gonna compete with no man for
Right.
her
Of
man.
course not. No. No, not at all.
But what I have to say is this: you made me forget my whole thought process. I swear to God, you made me forget my whole thought process. But yeah, I just say, uh, oh, that's what I was gonna say. And don't be fooled because some of these women do know that these men are DL and they don't care. They
Hmm.
just want a man. And they'll deal with it until they get caught. And then when the man get caught, they want to pretend like, oh my God, I didn't know. And round
Hmm.
up all her girlfriends and girl, oh my God, that's so
Hmm.
horrible.
And have a waiting
And
exhale party.
right, and have a whole wait and exhale party. But meanwhile, she knew that this man was the way he
Hmm.
was.
Hmm.
And they
Hmm.
done just she just mad because now he done got caught by the wrong person,
Hmm.
and the wrong person done spread it around the town.
Hmm. Hmm.
So she got to make it look good because she don't want nobody to know. Child, let me tell you something. I done been in the mall, I done been places, and I done seen women with men, and these men eyebrows was plucked better than theirs, and I'm sitting there going, "Girl, um, excuse me, can I ask your husband where he got his eyebrows done? Cause his eyebrows look better than yours, sister. You don't know something ain't right with that, or he is just glossed up and smelling good, and she looking all homely like she just stepped out the Pentecostal church. And I'm like, girl, you don't know that your man something ain't right, something in the milk
Hmm.
ain't right. There's a little sugar in his tank, but if you happy, girl, I'm happy for you. You know, I ain't gonna spoil nobody's little happy relationship or marriage, but
Hmm.
child, some of these men out here that that metrosexual thing, and these women be buying it, and I'm like, girl, but next time he go get his eyebrows done, he need to take you, bitch, because you got caterpillars on your forehead, and he got some nice little arched McDonald's eyebrows, honey.
Hmm.
Like something gotta. Can I mention a topic about trans men wanting to do after this topic? Yes, Miss Lois, you can. It's Friday.
Can she do what now?
She said, "Can I mention a topic about trans men wanting to do after this topic?" Yes, Miss Lois, go ahead. Put it in the
Yeah.
chat.
Hmm.
Put it in the chat. Cause now I can tell you, honey, I done seen some trans men that made me have to rethink my sexuality, honey. Cause they be fine as hell. I'm like, ooh, child, sir, could I, talk to you for a minute? I know I'm married, but you kind of sexy, boo.
Hmm.
What's your tea? What you get down with? Please say, man,
Right.
cause child, some of these trans men, honey, they fine as fuck.
They sure enough are.
They are fine as hell.
Hmm.
I
Now
ain't
you know
mad
what?
at them.
Another thing I want to talk about. We got to talk about this, Joseph. We got to talk about the Kim Kardashian um scandal, where it's been brought to the forefront that her mother orchestrated the sex tape between her and Ray J. Now that right there, Joseph, um, I don't know how to feel about that.
I always believed that though.
Well, I never knew that her mom was involved with it. I always, I kind of thought that Ray J and Kim did this tape, and I just made the assumption that one of them leaked it. It's been determined. Well, it's already been brought out that Ray J, because Ray J, he suffered a lot.
Hold on one second, Trina. Miss Lois, turn who straight? The gay man or the trans man? Go ahead, finish.
Well, what I was gonna say is, Ray J basically was blackballed because of this tape leaking, because it was always assumed that he was the one that leaked the tape. So he lost out on a lot. He said he lost out on deals like Dancing with the Stars. He lost out on all different types of deals in Hollywood as a result of this tape being leaked. A lot of producers, a lot of directors and stuff would not work with him simply because you know there was this assumption that he leaked this tape, when in reality it wasn't him that leaked the tape. It was Kris Jenner that leaked the tape. It was Kim's mother that actually leaked the tape. Um, and when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, Ray J has like a lot of people are saying, oh well, Ray J is bitter right now and he's upset, he's mad, and so on. He got every right to be. These girls are billionaires because of this one tape.
I don't
There
think
would
he's.
not be no there would be no such thing as a Kim Kardashian if it wasn't for a Ray J and Kim Kardashian sex tape.
I don't think he's bitter. I
I
think
don't
that
think he's
he
bitter
can
either.
because he signed an
I think
NDA
he I think he has a right to say whatever it is that he wants to say. I do.
and he signed an NDA
Hmm. Yeah, he
and
signed a contract and he really didn't know what he was signing because he was young, you know. But the fact that Kim's mother orchestrated this whole sex tape is crazy. It's crazy. Could you, like, if you had a daughter, could you pimp out your daughter? Because she basically pimped her daughter out
well, that's what
to become famous.
that's what they do. That's what the Kardashians do. You think they don't care as long as they can make a coin, and it worked.
It did. It worked.
It worked.
It
It,
worked.
it made Kim Kardashian who she was today.
Yeah, it
It
worked.
worked.
Yeah.
Miss
It
Lloyd,
made the whole family what it is today.
right? Because it got with her first.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was able to change the way she looked and change the
Mm-hmm.
way her body was.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sisters came along and did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one by one, they all started becoming famous and
Yeah.
they got the TV show and
This family is a multi-billion-dollar family now as a result of that one
sex tape.
sex tape.
She knew what she was doing. Kris Jenner knew what she was doing. And she knew that.
But how does that make her look now? How do you look at her?
I
How
mean,
do
as
you
a
view her?
mother, that makes you look horrible.
Yeah.
That you would pimp your daughter out like that. But
Could
that
y'all, like, ladies in the chat that have daughters, could you do that? Like, could you do that? Like, I mean, I got to even give props to Tokyo Tony. She wouldn't never do that to her daughter. She wouldn't even do that to Black China. She's never done that to Black China and has had every opportunity to do so, but
right.
she never has. Could you do that to your daughter? Could you do that to your child? Could you say to your daughter, okay, you gonna have sex with this boy on tape and then we're gonna leak the tape?
I mean, some people do anything for money. That's what it is in a nutshell. She knew that was gonna give her money. She knew what it was going to do for Kim's career,
Mm-hmm.
or she not necessarily that she knew. She hoped that it would because it could have backfired in a
Yeah,
whole different
it
way.
could have.
It could have totally backfired on her,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't. It went in the direction she knew it was gonna go, or she hoped it was gonna go. I can't say
Mm-hmm.
knew because She didn't know shit. She hoped it was going to do
Yeah.
that. And it did.
People sell their souls to the devil every day like that.
Yeah. Miss Lois, I did hear about that. And I think that that is not going to happen. Thank God. I think that it is just what it is. Um, I'm so tired of these gender things that are going on because at the end of the day, you are one or the other. Whether you choose to identify as that is a totally different thing. And
Mm.
I'm not talking about trans men and trans women. I'm not. I'm just talking about people being gendered in general. Of people, I don't want to be called a man. I'm just a person. I don't want to be called a woman. I'm just a person, or I'm not a he or a she. I'm a them or a they. I just I don't understand it. I'm not going to say that it's stupid or dumb.
What are
I'm
you talking
just
about?
going to say,
Pronouns? Or you?
right. I'm just going to say that I don't understand it. Trans men wanting to change the Mother's Day to something else. What are you going to call it? I mean, what are you going to call it? Because then the next thing is going to be Father's Day. If you are a trans man, then you are going to celebrate Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Period. See, this is the part that I don't understand. When you're trans, either you're going to be a trans woman or you're going to be a trans man.
Right.
But when Mother's Day comes around, don't want to hold on to that. Celebrate Father's Day. I don't care how many babies you pushed out. Celebrate Father's Day because that's the role that you are right now.
Right. That's your
You are a
pronoun.
man. You are a man. So you have to celebrate Father's Day. Even though you pushed out the baby and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
If you are trans women with children, you can't celebrate Father's Day. You need to be celebrating Mother's Day
Right.
because technically you are a woman.
Right.
So and this is how you identify
What
and
is
this
it?
is
Trans Mother's Day, Trans Father's Day? Is that what they're trying to
I don't
evolve it into?
I mean I don't know. They just want to change the name from Mother's Day to something else. Well, what is
Why
it going to
is it
be?
always? Why is it so important for us as humans to be or to always be
Labeled.
socially correct, politically correct? Why is it? Why can't we? Why can't we? What's wrong with going against the grain? What's wrong with being different? That you and you know that's one of the reasons why I call our entertainment group Dare to Be Different because um, why does it always have to be the norm? What everybody else, everybody, everybody has to follow the same narrative. You know, it it's ridiculous. It's never going to be that way. Everybody is not going to have the same narrative. Everybody's not going to ever follow the same narrative. We all come from different cultural backgrounds. We all have a different way of thinking, and that's what makes us so unique. Why does it always have to be the same? Everybody has to follow the same narratives. And if somebody doesn't follow your narrative, then they're wrong, or you gotta fight with them, or you gotta argue with them, or you gotta have a problem with them. Why?
I just, I don't know. I don't know when everything had to become the same. I like life better when we could be
Well,
different.
I ain't gonna never be the same. I'm gonna
No, but
always
I'm
be
saying I
different.
like life better when we can be different. When we could have a different point of view, and we could have a different opinion about things without
Mm-hmm.
being wrong all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Reese Cup, I agree with you. If they can't figure it out, why should we? But all of this new stuff going on in the world, I think is crazy. I do. I think it's crazy. I think it's what it is, but I'm not knocking anybody. If I
I
have
don't
to
think it's
ask
crazy. I
people,
think I just really I'm just a person that respects other people's values and their views and their way of
right? I
things.
respect. However you feel you want to be identified as, however you feel you want to be addressed as, I have no problem doing that at all. You see, we come on and we say, hey, y'all. That way we're not offending anybody that may not want to be identified as him or her. Or, we say, hey, everybody, how you doing? I didn't even know that was a real thing until we got an email about it. And I was like, wow, that's like people don't watch people's channels because they may say, hey, guys, or hey, girls,
Mm-hmm.
and people get offended and they won't come back to the
Right.
channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I never really thought about it until I got the email, and I was like, well, we always say, hey, everybody, how y'all doing, and what's up, y'all. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't gender identify anybody when we come on, which is a good thing apparently. So it's rough. I just this the way of the world now. But the last thing we're gonna talk about tonight, y'all, because y'all in the chat, and there's a lot of women in the chat, and I know y'all gonna have a lot to say about this. Roe versus Wade.
Oh God, yeah. Woo!
Now, who the thing is they trying to find out who leaked it. Quote unquote, they're trying to say it may have been Clarence Thomas's wife
Mm-hmm.
that leaked it.
Right.
And if she did, she should have. Because she knows that the next thing is that's gonna happen is all the laws for black people are gonna be revoked. All the laws for gay people are gonna be revoked.
Mm-hmm.
All the laws for transgender people are going to be revoked.
Right.
All the laws that are protecting different minorities are all going to be revoked if they do Roe versus Wade. So if she leaked it, allegedly, then she knew what she was doing because if you put it out in the forefront before it's even on the table,
Mm-hmm.
then everybody has a chance to fight and hide it,
Right. Right.
fight against it before it even hits the table. But I feel strongly about this because I feel that no man has a right to tell a woman what she can do with her body.
Mm-hmm.
In actuality, I think they're trying to turn this abortion law over because white people realize that they're about to become the minority.
No, they are. No,
Oh,
that's just the thing. This is what people. This is what black people don't understand. This is what I've been trying to get black people to understand, and I keep telling y'all, we will never be able to enjoy the fruits of our evolution until we are able to come together as a people. And I say that to say this is that we are the majority in this country. See what's happening at this present time is, and I don't know if this is a bad thing or a good thing, but the white population is decreasing every single day,
and
and
that's why.
we as black people are the minority in this country. Meaning there are more black people in the United States, and there are more ethnic,
Minorities.
ethnic minorities in this country than there are white people. And this is what this is their fear. Their fear is that they will become inferior.
They will become the minority,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they're trying to stop abortions. They're
Right.
trying to stop white women from getting abortions. But see,
Right.
they can't say that. They can't say we're trying to stop white women from getting abortions.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, with white women marrying more black men, Asian men, Latino
Mm-hmm.
men,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
babies ain't white. The
Right.
babies are never going to be white.
Right. Right.
So, you made the law one drop of black blood and you're black. That was the
Mm-hmm.
law y'all
Mm-hmm.
created.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're gagging because these white women are out here with all type of men.
Right.
And then the white women that are with white men, when they pop up pregnant, little Becky has to go to college, honey. So she can't be 13 walking around with a baby. Let's
Come
get
on
little
now.
Becky an
Come on.
abortion. So now that little pure white baby, because see, Becky ain't go playing in the fields yet. Becky stayed, where she was comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, that's what they're doing this for. They are trying to they're trying to prevent white women from having abortions
Mm-hmm.
because the more babies they pop out that are pure, And I have to say pure because see, they ain't concerned about the white women with black men, and the white women with Asian men,
They
and the
concerned
white
with the
women with
pure white
Latino
women.
men.
Yes.
They concerned about their little pure white babies.
Mm-hmm.
And see, evidently must be doing studies on who's getting the most abortions,
Mm-hmm.
and these white women are getting abortions, and they need to prevent that because if
Astronomical
they
numbers.
prevent
Yeah.
that, then they could have more white people, white little kids being born,
Mm-hmm.
and it won't be a problem. And yeah, I said it because that's what it's about. They don't give a fuck about black women having abortions. They don't give a fuck about Latino women having abortions.
No.
They don't give a fuck about Asian women having abortions. They could care less. They kill us they just kill us at will. So, they don't care if you have a baby or not. It's
Mm-hmm.
white women. They don't want white women to have abortions because white women, if they keep having abortions, they can't populate the earth. That's the problem in a
Yep.
nutshell.
Yep.
That's why they trying to turn over this Roe versus Wade thing. But at the end of the day, I still say these old white men can't tell y'all what to do with your bodies. Because that's who it is. It's these old white men trying to tell y'all what to do with your bodies. And at the end of the day, I think that is horrible that you want to sit and say that if a woman was raped, she still has to have a baby. Like that is a psychological trauma to this woman.
Right.
That is
Mm-hmm.
a psychological trauma to this woman. That doesn't make sense. Or if you know that the baby is coming out deformed, or if you know whatever the case is, I don't care what it is. The rape thing is what got me because I'm like, how dare you tell a woman if she's raped she has to have the baby? Like who does that? Where they do that at?
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10 she gonna give it up for adoption. She ain't gonna raise that baby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what you think?
Or
She
she's
gonna
gonna
push it
abuse
out?
it.
She gonna push it out and then all of a sudden love it? Like I just the mental capacity, and I'm you know what? I'm sure that there have been plenty of women that have been raped and kept the baby
Mm-hmm.
just because they thought it was a miracle or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. So I'm not saying every woman that was raped would want to have an abortion because maybe some might not.
Right. Right.
And they
Yeah, a
kept
lot
the
of
baby.
women.
I mean, that's the storyline on one of my favorite shows, Law and Order SUV. Olivia was the product of rape,
Mm-hmm.
but when you hear her tell her story, her and her mother don't have a close relationship because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the mental capacity behind it. Like, why would you want to make a woman that was raped have a baby?
Right.
That don't even make sense to me at all. And then, some white people are going to gag when these little babies start coming out with chinky eyes or black, or because these girls would normally run and get an abortion and now they can't. And
Mm-hmm.
now the family's going to find out some stuff that they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And now you done put her in jeopardy and the baby in jeopardy
Right.
because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot. This is a whole lot. And after that, the next thing they're gonna try to stop us from getting married, and they're gonna try to probably revoke the law that says black people and white people can get married because that is a law. They made a law saying that could happen, and that law is only a couple of years old. Actually, like 1960 something, I believe, was when that law went into effect that you can interracially marry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that'll be the next thing on the docket.
Right.
Right. Reese Cup, the adoption crisis will be ridiculous
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's going to give up their babies and it's just going to be a mess. Or
Right.
can you imagine how many women are going to end up killing themselves because they're going to try to do homemade abortions and
Mm-hmm.
try to figure out a way how to get, or just the influx of people in certain places like New York or New Jersey, because even if Roe versus Wade happens, they're still going to allow abortions here. So what's going to happen? They're just going to come to another state and get an abortion and go back home.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. They want us to have babies we might not want, but they not fight to adopt the baby. Right. And then when you have the baby and you can't afford it, they ain't trying to give you help for it.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna want to give you food stamps. They ain't gonna want to give you a WIC check. They ain't gonna want to give you welfare, but they want you to have the baby.
Right.
And in the same token, you need to stop getting pregnant if you don't want to have
Well,
a baby.
well, a lot of you like. Well, I mean, when you're talking about victims of rape or
But no,
victims
that's
of,
different.
yeah,
That's different.
that is
I'm just
different.
talking
Yeah.
about the casual. Oh, me and Johnny, we was drunk and we fucked and I got pregnant.
Mhm.
You need to stop.
Mhm.
That needs to stop.
Yeah, that do need to stop.
So I mean, at the same token, if you stop fucking unprotected and
Mhm.
thinking that you ain't gonna get pregnant,
Mhm.
you wouldn't have a problem.
Mhm.
So I mean, technically, it's a double-edged sword. But for women that just, the condom broke because it happens, accidental pregnancies and they just are not ready to have a baby. I don't knock them. I don't blame them.
It's like what Christine said. You got to know your worth.
Right.
You really do. You have to know your worth. You have to say to yourself, like I know women that you know that don't have children simply because that's what they chose not to do. They felt like you know there was another there was another journey that they had to travel on, or they rather have success in business and in their careers than to just have children.
Right.
So you got to know your worth. What is your worth? What is your worth?
Right. And
What is
then
your worth?
what hurts me the most is you're telling me that a 9-year-old girl or a 10-year-old girl that gets raped
Mm-hmm.
and ends up pregnant just because she had her period early, and
She got to
now
keep the
she's
baby.
pregnant, she got to keep a baby at 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That makes
No,
absolutely no
yeah,
sense.
that's ridiculous.
That don't make no kind of sense to me
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
all. And ain't nobody gonna ever make that make sense to me.
No, no, not at
That ain't
all.
never gonna make sense to me.
Mm-mm.
That's just ridiculous and stupid. That just don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of girls out here that get their period at 9 years old. And because once you get a period, that means you can get pregnant.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Also, Joseph, it's another. This really bringing this whole Roe v. versus Wade thing should also let us know that the importance of us going out and voting.
Right.
You know, um, a lot of us need to learn the responsibility of voting,
And not just for the president.
not just for the president. And see, a lot of people think that the presidency is the most important election, when in reality, it's not. One of the most important elections is the Senate elections, because um, the Democrats and the Republicans, they determine what the laws are in this country. That's why it's so important for us to go out and vote and let our voices be heard. If this is something that you are against, then let your voice be heard. Your voice, I mean, you don't have a say so if you don't go out and vote. You don't have a say so if you don't go out and vote. You could talk about it all you want. You could talk about it till you blue in the face. But if you didn't get out there at that poll and cast your vote on what you thought, what does it mean? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So, with that being said, guys, we're out of here.
Yes,
Y'all
we.
make sure y'all watching us on all social media platforms, and don't forget about the new feature that they have here on YouTube, which is the thank you option, where you can actually give a monetary gift
I
to a
said thank
content
you.
creator, just and say thank you. Or like you do, some of you've always done. You can send us a cash app. We take cash app, PayPal, Venmo. What else?
It's all in the description
Yeah,
box.
yes, everything is going to be in the description. So we're on Instagram, we're on
Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Twitter. Yeah.
Snapchat,
Hmm.
TikTok. We're on all those platforms. So make sure you go like and subscribe to
Hmm.
our social medias. Check out the McCrae King's Boutique for everything McCrae Kingz and Dare to Be Different.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you want to be a lord or a lady or a knight at our round table, hit that join button and
Mm-hmm.
do as such. Become a lord or a lady or a knight at our round table. Because
Mm-hmm.
in 2022, membership will have its privileges.
Sure will.
And remember, we are coming back full force in July 1st of 2022. We are still on hiatus, but
Mm-hmm.
things are happening, so we have to talk about them
Yes.
when they happen.
Yes.
So,
And the McCrae Kingz, y'all, for those of you that don't know, the McCrae Kingz are available for hire. For those of you that are looking for somebody to host your social events, whether it be, a birthday party, an anniversary, whatever type of function it is, we are available for hire. Just contact us at bookthemcraekingz@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate you in that way. We also do motivational speaking. We are also wedding officiants. So those of you that are looking to get married and you need someone to perform your nuptials, the McCrae Kingz are available for that. And we are available for so much more. So just contact us. And guys, keep all the comments, keep all of the suggestions and things coming. You can, if you have a suggestion, a show idea, or you have a comment, or anything that you want to say to the McCrae Kingz, we are very, very much reachable. You can reach us on Facebook. You can reach us via email. You can reach us just about any way you can. Just send us a message. You know, and we will try to accommodate you as best we can.
and the email is TheMcRaeKingz@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Also, going forward in July, a lot of our shows will be pre-recorded. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to advertise on our platform, please hit us up at TheMcRaeKingz@gmail.com for advertising prices, and just we'll tell you what to do, and you can advertise on our platform.
Yes, yes, most definitely. So, with that being said, guys, we are going to say good night, and we will see you when we see you. We'll talk to you when we talk to you. Like
And please,
we're supposed to be on this sabbatical, so we'll talk to you when we talk
and
to you.
please, all you mothers, enjoy your Mother's Day.
Yes, have a happy Mother's Day,
Have a
mothers.
happy Mother's Day. You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You earned it.
Shout out to my mom.
Yes, you deserved it. You earned it. And you enjoy your day. If we don't come live and tell you Happy Mother's Day on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
please know that we are thinking about you. We love you and we want you to have the best Mother's Day ever.
Yes.
So, with that being said, please always remember to walk in love, peace, sunshine, and happiness. And always remember it's what?
It's Team McCrae.
All damn day. Later, y'all.
Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.